this is an under the radar player, and on Pick a Side we talk about under the radar players here. His name is Moses Brown, and Riv is a big fan. He owns 5 jerseys of Moses Brown dating back to his high school days, and he owns his UCLA jersey. But Moses Brown, he's been playing really well for OKC. He's averaging 9 and 8, but per 36 he's averaging 17 and 15, and he's had some monster performances. He had 21 and 23 against the Celtics. He had 20 and 12 against Toronto, and he had 20-16 with 5 blocks against the Chicago Bulls. And did OKC find a diamond in the rough here? I mean, I'm pretty sure he was undrafted.
Oh no, he was definitely undrafted. I think like Moses Brown, he's kind of fit for this type of NBA. Skinny, mobile type big. I think with OKC, you're starting to see them guys starting to find guys that even Luka Dortz, he was undrafted. So getting him in there, getting Moses Brown, getting those old guys out of there, letting the young guys play. Shaw hasn't been playing the last couple of games. You see Theo Maledon, he's been playing good. So it's good that they find these type of young pieces. And I know they just signed him to like a 3-year, right?
Who?
Moses.
I'm not even sure if they did.
They just gave him a deal after he had that performance against Boston. They gave him a deal. So yeah, I think they found. I wouldn't say a diamond, but I'd say they found something.
I would say, though, that getting an undrafted player and turning him into, I think Moses Brown is going to become a rotational piece for them. That's finding a diamond in the rough.
Is Duncan Robinson a diamond in the rough? Or is he a gold chain?
But
I don't know. I think he's, I would say gold chain. Gold chain.
So Moses Brown is a gold chain? Or is he a Cuban
I think he's
link?
a little bit lower right now.
He's a Cuban link diamond or just a regular gold chain?
He can't, if Duncan's a gold chain, he's a Cuban link.
So Moses is a Cuban link if Duncan's a gold chain?
I remember Moses when he was in high school in New York. He was this crazy, highly touted prospect. He went to UCLA. He had a pretty good career there.
He played with Jalen Hands.
Yeah, there was that moment of them where Jalen Hands is like lifting his head up after he was hanging his head. I don't know if you've ever seen that.
I've seen it. It's funny. I'd have been dumb mad.
But I think he's got a really great mindset from what I remember hearing of him through his high school days, UCLA days. And he was tearing it up in the G League, too. He led the G League in rebounding, if I'm not mistaken, 14 rebounds a game. And he also led the G League in offensive rebounding by almost a whole 2 rebounds. So he is a really great rebounder, and he's continued that in the NBA. In his time in the league so far, he's in the 98th percentile defensive rebounding and 93rd percentile offensive rebounding. And in his starts, he averaged 14 points, 15 rebounds, and 2 blocks. So, he has really been keeping up that level of play. Now, I also think some of that comes with the fact he's been given a really big role in those starts because the Thunder don't have that much talent, especially with Shea going down now. But I think they got a guy who can really play a role for them over the next couple of years, especially as they start to bring in talent. He's got a really high motor. He can create his own shot. He's great defensively and rebounding. So I think they got a guy who's going to be in their rotation for the next few years. And getting that out of an undrafted guy, you don't find that. So a lot of credit to the Thunder and the fact
Mitchell Robinson and him. What's the comparison? There's a comparison there.
I was even going to say, I was going to go further. Not further. I was going to say, looking into the draft, getting a guy like Moses Brown, they don't have to go look at Evan Mobley. Getting a guy like him was the same build, same type of player in a sense. Obviously, Evan Mobley's younger, but now you go look at other places you can fit because you now have a potential rotational piece that you can just slide in there. So you don't have to look at a big man like Evan Mobley. You can look at the Jonathan Kumingas, the Jalen Suggs. You can go look deeper.
And look at what they got right now. Shea,
that locker room is lit.
Moses Brown, even Poku, they're going to have a really long, lengthy, great defensive young core to build around as they now enter 17 picks, or I think it's 17 first-rounders and
34 picks.
The thing about it is that you mentioned his high school days. He was a 24th ranked prospect in ESPN's top 100 class of 2018. So he's a highly touted prospect. He's 7'2", 245. And he can move. So, you don't find too many guys that are 7'2", that can move like that. He reminds me a lot of Rudy Gobert. And I know that's a big comparison, but, Rudy Gobert was not supposed to be Rudy Gobert. Rudy Gobert.
That's a diamond.
He was supposed to be that.
Defensively, he reminds me of Claxton.
He looks like I thought he was Claxton for a short
Rudy
minute.
Gobert was the worst rated 2K player, I think.
I thought it was Jeremy Lin. Oh, as a rookie.
Rudy Gobert had like a 59 rating.
Jesus Christ.
How
do you go that low?
I think an interesting thing about Moses Brown, well, there's two things that I think are really interesting about it. One, you look at the Thunder with these 34 picks over the next, like, however many years it is. Look at the talent that they're finding in undrafted guys like Brown, like Dort. Like, they are hitting on some later picks. Even Poku was a pretty late pick, if I'm not mistaken.
He was a mystery.
17th pick, I think.
So like, they are getting great value at their picks and undrafted guys. So when they start getting high-value first-round picks, that's scary with the scouting department they've developed. And then from a sense of Moses Brown, he was class of 2018 high school, if I'm not mistaken, and then left UCLA after 1 year. And now you look at him 2 years later. Think about he would have been leaving college after his third year. I think a lot of guys these days are leaving college too early, and you see them struggle at the beginning, and a lot of them end up finding their stride later on. And it took 2 years in the G League, but he's starting to find his stride now. Like, I saw Josh Christopher committed to the draft today. I thought he would have been another guy who really could have used another year or two in college. And it takes some time. So I think we got to stop judging players off 1 year in the league, give them some time to develop, especially when they're one-and-done guys. And I think this is another case of that.
I mean, OKC has been finding a lot of young talent. I mean, you mentioned Poku. Poku is a unicorn. He just hasn't been hitting his shots. But he's been getting to his spots. He
plays hard, too.
Yeah, he just hasn't been hitting his shots. But in terms of handling the ball, shooting from the outside, his shooting stroke, I mean, they all look nice. And then you look at guys like Isaiah Roby, who's not too bad. He's playing pretty good. Teo Maledon, he's a really good guard. I mean, he could play the 2 or the 1, and he plays phenomenal at the 1. Very smooth, a good defender, a good passer. He plays the game the right way. Then you mentioned Dort.
Then the guy leading the charge.
And now Moses Brown. I mean, they got a lot of guys that have been flying under the radar. And nobody thought that OKC was going to be a competitive team this year. We all thought that they were going to be really bad, but they're 20-27.
And they're in games.
Yes.
They're in a lot of games that they shouldn't be in.
They're 13th in the West, but that's just because the West is so crazy. But OKC, everybody had them pretty much marked down as the last team in the NBA. Nobody thought they were going to be competitive like this.
I think that. Shout out to the coaching staff. Shout out to the player development team. Shout out to the scouts. Shout out to the players. I think this young team is really finding its way together, and it's going to definitely – it's going to benefit them down the stretch. I am curious to see how this team is going to go come free agency. I hope they don't spend big, and I hope they wait the process because I think they're going to hit on a lot of drafts. So I don't think they need to go out and get big-time names. I think they can just, get some good complementary pieces and just ride out the draft, in my opinion.
They could hit on their draft. If they hit on half of their draft picks over those 34 picks, they won't have enough room to sign all of them.
In my opinion, I think
they just need to hit on Cade.
In my opinion, I think OKC fans should want 2 players in the draft. My top 2 at least. Cade is obviously one. 2 is Jonathan Kuminga.
For them?
Really?
Yes, for them. Yeah, I think over Jalen Suggs, over Jalen Green.
Is he your number 2 overall?
If I was OKC, I would take him number 2 overall.
He's just in general.
Yes.
He's my number 2 overall, too. I think with this type of league, you need guys like that. Like, he's a wing.
He can really pass,
play 1 through 5. He can pass. The shooting, it's going to get better. He's long. He's lengthy. Like, he's kind of like Kawhi PG built. Those are the guys you need. I like Jalen Suggs, though. He'd be, like, number 3 for me. But
I like Jalen Suggs, too, but I think
he's a team. It depends on the team for him.
Yeah, I like Jalen Suggs, too, but just knowing that Shea can play the 1.
And he's 6'6".
Teo Maledon doesn't look too bad playing the 1 of the combo guard position. And Jalen Green, I just think he's a scorer. But I think Kuminga, he could come into OKC and be probably their second-best defender on the team, and he can be a really good facilitator and just play that wing spot very well. So that's why I would love Kuminga if I was OKC.
You put Dortz at the 2 and Kuminga at the 3 with Shah at the 1.
So this is my question to you guys. There are a lot of players that are under the radar right now. So who do you think is the biggest kept secret in the NBA right now that a lot of NBA fans, casual NBA fans, don't know about? Obviously, Moses Brown is one of them. Okay. But if you were to name another one.
I'll give you another Jersey guy that I think has really gone under the radar.
Are we talking about college and NBA or
NBA?
Just NBA?
Nas Reed.
Nas Reed,
the Timberwolves. Yeah. They've been terrible, but Nas Reed is...
It's another guy on the team I was going to say.
He went undrafted, too.
Yeah.
I was going to say Jaden McDaniels.
He's been playing a big role for them.
Yeah, Jaden.
I was gonna say
McDaniels is good,
Jaden
too.
McDaniels. He's starting to find his way. That's another guy people probably don't know nothing about.
Yeah, and again, that could be a case of they're really bad, and that helps them,
I mean, he's
get a
young.
little
It
bit
helps
more
the
of
development
load.
process.
Yeah, but I mean, Naz Reid is a guy who, even from the time he was in high school, you can kind of see he had that NBA skill set. He has the size, he could shoot it, he could play make a little bit, and he could defend the interior, and he could move a little bit for his size. So, like,
Yeah.
I always kind of thought he would be successful in the league, and
I
now
think-
he's really getting a chance.
I think it benefited him that the league transitioned towards the small ball 5 with
Exactly.
him being 6'9", 6'10". I think that's what really helped him. Like, all right, we can see this, and he plays well with that team. Him and Cat are out there. He still plays well because Cat can shoot, so he can go down low. So I hope they keep him. Honestly, that's a good team with a lot of good talent.
Yeah, they just don't have a good coach. That's really their problem right now. We'll see.
They're
if they
never
can
healthy
figure it out.
too.
Exactly. That's
Never
another one.
healthy.